Hi there, that's right, Great and Glorious Nick here yet again. We're continuing with the discussion of the Wikipedia article on anti-positivism, so we can get more of a feeling for basically what that's about, and seeing if we can apply that to the supernatural. So far, it's actually looking very good, because we've seen that it is still regarded as good science to not necessarily use the same tools which are used by the other sciences, such as physics, chemistry and biology. And there are even some schools of biology, for example, which have moved out of that particular, as it's called, positivistic way of looking at the world into something a little more broad, shall we call it. The essay goes on. Anti-positivist then adds that positivism is restricted to phenomena that can be constrained within an analytical and verifiable fragment of the reality, i.e. that it is impossible to study freedom, irrationality and various unpredictable actions that are common in individual human behavior. So when there's something which can't be studied by the natural science method, there's still ways of studying these things. But essentially, I suppose what this article is saying, that it depends upon how analytical we're being about the things that we're studying, that actually makes what we're talking about good or bad science, or on the spectrum between good and bad science. So yes, we can still apply scientific reasoning when we're actually analyzing the supernatural. They also argue that knowledge can never be neutral, as it directly translates into power, and that positivists attempt to draw an artificial line between observer and the subject. Finally, anti-positivists argue that positivism's three goals, description, control, and prediction, are incomplete since they lack the goal of understanding. So again, we're seeing that we can develop a broader picture if we take the occult, if we analyze the occult in a broad manner, but still try and apply good reasoning and attempting to understand to what we're seeing, what we're experiencing. The article goes on. Some argue that even if positivism were correct, it would be dangerous. Science aims at understanding causality so that control can be exerted. If this succeeded in sociology, those with knowledge would be able to control the ignorance, and this could lead to social engineering. This critique is common amongst postmodernists like Derrida, and of course the other ones such as Foucault and all the rest. Okay, so from these two videos you should be able to see that apart from the straightforward, basic, normal, natural science way of looking at the world to find out what is real, there are broader interpretations and broader methods. And there's been nothing in what we've seen so far which excludes attempting to analyze the occult and the supernatural in a way which could be regarded as being scientific. However, anti-positivism is only one school of thought. I personally would err on the side of basically positivism, but with some extra aspects of anti-positivistic understanding thrown in for good measure. It would also be my theory that James Randolph is, in this particular case, a very extremist positivist, and would not move his research outside to take into account emotional states of being, states of mind, and other things that might come into the category of anti-positivism, but we'll still have to, use anti-positivism as a way of breaking down and understanding the way that certain phenomena within the world actually work. Okay, so as before, check out the reference in the sidebar. It's a Wikipedia reference, and speak to you soon. We'll now have a quick look at another subject in another short series of videos, so that we can carry on building upon our understanding of how we can apply science to the supernatural.